Hello everyone, welcome to another living room yoga sesh. I am super excited for today. It's going to be a really fun power hour. I don't want to call it intense, but it's going to be a really fun flow where we're working a lot on strength, of course on flexibility, and a little bit of balance. So there'll also be a couple inversions thrown in there. So as always, take this at your pace. I do not want you to leave with a pulled muscle or feeling overly, or feeling overly stressed, but I definitely want you to encourage yourself to keep going even when it feels difficult, and know that it's just 1 hour, and when you're done, you're gonna feel like $1 million. So, as you can see behind me, I have a demo today. Michael's joining us for class, so he's gonna be my main demoer. I will also be demoing with as I'm instructing, but it might get a little intense, and I didn't want to get out of breath and not be able to have y'all be able to see what you're doing as well as hear it. So he's going to be hanging with us today. We still have about 2 minutes. I just wanted to get this live stream going so y'all could see it. Grab your mat and hop on, and we'll get started in just a few minutes. So if you have any questions for me, you're welcome to type them in the comments while I'm standing here, and I can answer them for you guys before we get started. But I'm really excited you're here, and I'm excited for class. So, I also wanted to say, because this is a little bit more intense, if you have a towel, like a hand towel, tea towel size, you may want to grab that. Depending on your mat, how nice it is, basically, it may or may not have any nonstick capabilities. So if you find that you're sweating, which is a really, really good thing, don't go fling your window open and get cold again. Let the sweat come, embrace it, but you may need a towel to either towel yourself off, wipe your hands off, or even place at the top of your mat. So I can show you real quick. I won't need this, but I used to have to do this when I would use studio mats. So you can just leave the towel there, and then whenever you're in down dog, your hands are planted on the towel, which will help with sweat and that sort of thing. So Michael and I are fortunate to have pretty good mats, so they help with non-stick. Hello, Simone, yay, and Stephanie, so glad y'all are here. Okay, got about 1 more minute, so just hang tight. If you're already on your mat, feel free to set your phone up, your computer, and just kind of stretch it out, take a second, take a few deep breaths before we get started. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
No.
No? Okay, great.
Go easy on me.
Go easy on you. Well, that might not happen, but it's okay. Let's see who else. Annie, hello. Mark, you gonna do some yoga? I hope you and Karen are doing it. That'd be awesome.
Harmon?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's watching. Cool. I love seeing who's popping on. It's so exciting. Yay. Welcome, you guys. Go, Mike! Says Mark. Yay, you have a cheerleader. Good. Michael might need it. We're both going to be on the struggle bus, but it's going to be awesome. So we're right there with you guys. We want you to know that. It feels really dark. I might turn this light on too. It's not as bright and sunny today. I don't know if that did anything, but all right. So cool. Let's get started. It's 101. Annie, eating donor. I wish I was eating donor right now. We just had Michael had pizza for lunch, so we'll see how that goes. But all right, cool. We're gonna go and get started. Hey, Melanie. So we're gonna start in child's pose. So you can just go ahead and head to your child's pose. I'm gonna get the playlist going, and we'll get rock and rolling. Perfect. So coming to child's pose. Your toes will touch, your knees can be closed, as wide as your mat or anywhere in between. So whatever feels good for you. Reaching your arms out ahead, you can relax them down to your mat like Michael has with his elbows down, or if you really want to feel a deep, long stretch through spine and shoulders, you can reach them really long. So I'll show you what that looks like. So staying in your child's pose, take a nice deep breath in through your nose, and if you'd like to let it go through your mouth, you can kind of sigh it out. See how that feels. Good. And continue your breath, feeling your lungs expand and contract. You might feel them kind of grazing your thighs. You'll root your tailbone down towards the mat, working those hips down on your heels, lengthening through your spine and your shoulders. Good, keep breathing. If you want to set an intention for your practice today, you're always more than welcome to. I would definitely encourage something simple, like laughter or strength, any focal point you'd like to have. Turn this down just a little bit. Good. And it's really important to keep that in mind, as you wobble and fall and have to take a break and scale back. Do that at any time. This is your practice, 100%. So I really want you to know that, and of course this also goes for Michael and myself. If you need that child's pose, take it. If you need to straighten a leg instead of staying in a low lunge, take it. Anything that you need, go ahead and do it. So, good. We'll take a gentle shoulder stretch here. So come up a little bit and take your right hand and thread it underneath your left armpit. So you're gonna place that shoulder on the mat, maybe even your right cheek or temple. Your left hand can do anything that's comfortable. I even kind of like pushing into it as you open up your chest. You'll feel that stretch in your shoulder. You can be hips down or hips up, whatever feels good, and is gonna help you get this shoulder stretch. And we'll go ahead and switch, so gently come out of that. Place your right palm down on the mat, take your left arm, thread it under your right armpit, and sink onto that shoulder. Again, you can reach this arm ahead, or you can press into it to open up your chest and heart more. You might feel this stretch kind of going down your shoulder blade and your back in addition to just your shoulder. Big deep breaths. The calm before the storm. Coming back to center. You can lift, go back down to your child's pose. We're gonna flow through just a little flow. We're gonna come to tabletop, down dog, tabletop, child's pose with our breath. So on your next inhale, float to your tabletop. Curl your toes, send your hips high, exhale, down dog, bend your knees. Your inhale brings you back to tabletop. Squeeze your belly button in, sink back, child's pose on your exhale. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, down dog. Feel free to move your spine with this. You can kind of roll through if you'd like. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Moving with your breath. Exhale, down dog. One more time all the way through. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Inhaling back to tabletop to stay there. Take a second to adjust your wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. And then pressing into the tops of your feet, so like where your shoelaces would be if you were wearing tennis shoes, and lift your knees off the mat by an inch or two. So it's a very small movement. You'll feel your core instantly engaged as you push your hands and knees away from the mat. And you can take gentle rocks forward and backwards. And maybe try gentle rocks side to side, like you're dipping one hip and then the other. Good, keep that breath flowing. Awesome, release your knees and take an inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat stretch. Inhale back to center. If you need to rotate or shake your wrists at any time, totally feel free to do that. We will be on our wrists a lot, plank, down dog, tabletop, so feel free to take those breaks when you need them. We'll do that cycle one more time. So press into the tops of your feet, lift your knees off the mat, just an inch or two, it's very subtle, and then gentle rocks forward and back. Very controlled, very steady, very small. And take your hips and dip them side to side, little rotations. Those might be a little bigger. Good, release your knees, inhale into your cow stretch. Exhale into cat. Inhale. Exhale down. Now bringing your knees together and your toes behind you. I'll turn sideways so you can see it. Your toes are up. Come with your hips over your heels. So we're going to sit back on our toes and rotate our wrists a little bit. Shake them out. It's already intense, and we have much more to do with our wrists. So you want to stretch one and then the other. So we'll get intense on your toes so you can come out whenever that feels good. Stretch your other wrist. Good. Perfect. And then coming forward, just gently tap your toes against the mat. Okay. And then press one foot back and then the other foot back, holding a plank for a second. Same thing as before, you can take gentle rocks forward and backward. And then little hip dips. So hip dip to the right, left. Warming up that core, getting it ready to support us through our practice today. Got it. And then lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Feel free to walk your heels in just a little bit if you'd like. Pedal your heels one and the other. Your knees can always stay gently bent in your down dog. So no pressure there. Don't feel like you have to straighten them or have to get those heels down. Your goal here is a straight and long spine from the head and neck all the way down through your tailbone. Nice deep inhales and exhales here. Getting ready to start some movement. We'll come into our sun salutation. So gazing at the top of your mat, step, tiptoe, or hop your feet forward. Feet can be hip width apart or touching. Totally your choice. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way up, coming to standing. Exhale, open your arms like a cactus. Let your heart shine towards the sky, taking a gentle back bend. Inhale, arms up. I think our playlist is shuffling. Going up on your tippy toes, come up and up. Keep doing those tiptoes. I'm gonna check on our music real quick. Oh, we're doing okay, cool. Good. Up and hold, try to take a balance, gazing at the wall in front of you. Gazing in front, holding this balance as long as you can. And then gently lowering your heels down to the mat. Inhale as you stand strong. Exhale, hands come to heart, sink down into your chair pose. Inhale, reaches straight up. Don't all the way straighten your knees, keep them gently bent. Exhale, down into chair pose. Moving with your breath, that might be a little faster or a little slower than me. Again, like you're moving through pudding. So if this feels really easy, see where you can create resistance for yourself. Going deeper in your chair, reaching higher as you come up. Last one. Hold on your inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands down on the mat. So bend your knees as much as you need to plant so you can step or hop your feet back to your plank. We're gonna go into our chaturanga, up dog, down dog. But if you'd like to take a chaturanga push-up, I'll come to my knees. Do one push-up first. So you just do a normal push-up and lift. And then go down to your chaturanga, curl your toes, lifting up to your up dog. Lift your hips high, downward facing dog. Good, we'll take that sun salutation a few more times. So now that you know where we're headed, let your body flow a little bit. So gaze at your fingertips. If you'd like to hop, come up on your tippy toes. Bend your knees as you send your hips behind you and lift, bringing your feet forward. Awesome. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way up. Good. Coming up on your toes. Lift, lift, lower, lift. So just quick little releves. Allowing your shoulders to melt away from your ears, lift and hold. Squeeze your belly button in, gaze in front of you. Don't worry if you wobble and fall. Keep your breath flowing, fingertips are reaching. Exhale as you sink down into your chair pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sinks down. Lift. Exhale, sinks low. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink a little lower if you can. See what that feels like. Last one, exhale, sinks and holds. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or jump back to your plank. Good, nice job. You can keep these up or down. Take your push-up if you like, or go straight to your chaturanga. And then your up dog. Downward facing dog. Nice deep cleansing breath here. Do that one more time. Gazing up at your hands, step or hop your feet into your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way up. We forgot our back bend last time, so open up your arms, shine your heart, gentle back bend with your upper back. Inhale, lift, and come right into those rises. Up, up, up. Good, so building a little strength in those calves. Good. Now we'll take it a little different. So we're gonna exhale, lift, inhale. So we're double pacing it. So one chair is an exhale, one chair is the inhale. Just move a little faster at your pace. So up and down is one inhale, up and down is an exhale. Good. On your next one, hold it for one breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or jump back to your plank. If you'd like to take your chaturanga, take your push-up if you'd like, or go straight to your chaturanga, or go straight to down dog. That's always an option. Meeting in down dog. If you're already feeling fatigued, you may want to take a child's pose. We'll be here for 3 more deep breaths in and out. Plugging your shoulders into their sockets, sending your sit bones high, zipping your rib cage in. Bring your toes to touch at the back of your mat. Inhale your right leg to the sky. We'll take one core plank. So just bring it in like you're gonna swing it through, coming to your plank, and a cat stretch with your knee in. Exhale, send it back to the sky. Inhale, hold. Exhale, swing it through. So all the way to the top of your mat. If it doesn't quite get there, grab your foot, help it up, totally fine. Squeezing your belly in. You may want a block for what's coming in a minute. So if you have a block or whatever you're using as a block, you can put it in front of you or maybe to either corner of your mat. Good. Squeeze your belly button away from your thigh before you lift. Scissoring your legs. And what that means is instead of letting them open, keep that left hip coming forward. Good, arms reach high, crescent lunge. And turn the music up just a little bit more. Good. Awesome. All right, now we're gonna fly in our crescent lunge. So with your back toes pushing you forward, lean your chest forward like you're bringing your weight over your front leg, but we're not lifting off the ground yet. Inhale, lift. Exhale, shift your weight forward. Draw those arms behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Inhale, up. Exhale, send it back. Inhale, up. Keep going. Exhale, send them back. Now on this next one, we are gonna fly. So send your weight forward as you launch onto that leg into a warrior three. It can be modified where your chest is kind of up, or you can take it flat, parallel to the ground. Now drawing your hands down to the mat, we'll open up into a warrior, or into a half moon. So plant your right hand either on the floor or your block, left hand comes to your hip, open up into a half moon. So your hips, shoulder, and toes all face the side, the wall. If you'd like to open your arm, you can. Again, wobbling and falling and taking breaks is all allowed. Bringing your hand back down, square off your hip. Now for some fun, you can do this on blocks or on the mat, whichever feels better. We're gonna take some hops or just some changes of weight. So if you wanna hop, it looks like this, hop and scissor your feet, or you can change your weight. Just bring one foot down and switch and hop. If you're feeling really good and wanna go for it, you can even hop all the way up into a handstand of sorts. Even if they're really small hops, that's okay too. So there's lots of ways that this can look. Landing with your right foot back in front. That right glute is feeling it, and I know that. Hang with it. We're gonna take 3 squats. So cross your legs, tuck your knee underneath, squat as low as you can. Inhale that leg back up, squeeze your belly in. You don't want your back doing all the work. Sink back down. Inhale, lift. You're gazing forward, don't tuck your head. Exhale, squeeze your knees under, squeeze, 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 and then sit down on that leg. So now you're seated in a twist. If this head is up here and this is really uncomfortable, take this foot to the outside of your shins. Totally fine. Good. Take your right arm behind you, left arm comes all the way up, and it can either hook your elbow or wrap. Coming into a seated twist. This might also stretch that hip out a little bit and feel good. And gaze behind you if that feels okay. Slowly unwind. Plant your right leg into the mat and see if you can keep your leg there and open up to your lunge. Planting your left hand maybe on the block. Open up your right arm to the sky, taking a twist. Same direction that we were just twisting, but now it's a little more open. Feel your heart and chest open up. Exhale your hand back down. Scoot that block forward for later. Come to your plank. You can rise straight to down dog or take your chaturanga. Ooh, added a push-up. I like it. Always an option too, to intensify it a little bit more. All right. Enjoy your down dog or a child's pose. Feel that hip. Your right hip is feeling it. Your left hip's about to join in. Bringing your toes to touch the back of your mat. Lift your left heel high. One core plank, make it count. Squeeze it in, round your belly, shoulders over wrists. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Send it back to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, swing it through all the way. Good. Now coming to your fingertips first, scissor your hips, squeeze your belly button in, and then lift into your crescent lunge. Good. Nice. We're finding steady in our crescent lunge. We'll exhale as we come forward like we're gonna fly, but we're not going going to quite yet. Inhale, lift. Exhale, make sure your knee is not going past your ankle. You don't want to shift your knee, just your chest and your back leg. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, up. Go for 2 more. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. This time we're gonna launch. So come up onto that front leg. Finding your balance, gaze at the floor in front of you. Maybe bringing your body parallel to the floor, like a tabletop. Let your hands fall to the mat or your blocks. Your heel is still behind you. Keep trying to lift out of the supporting leg. Left hand comes to block or floor. Right hand to mat. Open up your heart, your chest, your toes. Maybe letting your right hand fly to the sky in your half moon. Taking everything back to center, so square off your hips, your toes, your shoulders. We'll take those hops. So you can either step and switch feet, or you can take big hops into the sky. Maybe finding a little hang time and switching feet. Whatever you do, make sure you do an even number. So your left foot ends up back in front. You can keep your hands on blocks or floor or fingertips. We're gonna come into those squats on our left leg. So tuck your right hand and sink down. We're almost done with that left hip. Inhale back out. Exhale, squat down. Inhale, stretch that leg, really lengthening, shooting energy out of that foot. Last one, squat. Sink lower, lower, lower until you're seated. Good. So we're in our seated position again. If this hip can't come anywhere near the floor, take this leg to the outside. Where it is exactly isn't all that important. We just want to find a good twist. So your left arm comes behind your bottom, scoot it up right behind you. Right arm comes around that left knee, either wraps or hooks. Deep breaths here, letting your heart rate come down a little bit from those hops. Sitting up as tall as you can, thinking of your spine as a screw, a corkscrew. It's not a rotini noodle. You want to think of it as tight and strong. Or crazy straw, I guess that's a better analogy when I'm doing this. Slowly unwind, plant that left leg into your mat if you can. Your right hands come for support. And finding your lunge, come back to your low lunge. Squeeze your belly button in. If you'd like to bring your block back, you can. Plant your block or your hand on the inside of that foot and slowly unwrap into a twist. If this is too intense, keep your hand on your hip and use that for leverage. Keeping the weight in your back big toe will help keep your hips in alignment. Exhale your hand down, scoot that block out of the way, plant your hands, plank. You can go straight to down dog or take your chaturanga. We'll all meet in our downward facing dog. Good. Lower to your knees. Take a child's pose for just a few breaths. We're about to kind of go into phase 2 here. Great. While you're doing that, I'm going to move the speaker a little closer to the phone so y'all can hear the music. Good. Love this song. So we're going to go into another warrior series. And just to give you a warning, we're going to do the thing, the full series, right and left, 3 times. 2 times with my instructions will be exactly the same. The 3rd time, you're going to do it on your own, at your own pace. I'm going to turn up the music a little bit. And I just want you to flow it out. You can add anything, you can take everything away, and you can skip the 3rd series altogether. So just so you know what's coming, it's only a few motions. to remember to string together, and you can totally do this. I used to do this in classes all the time, and it's super fun. I hope. So, coming up to your downward facing dog, move your tabletop, curl your toes under, lift up and back. Bring your toes to touch, flip that right leg high, swing it through. Coming up to crescent lunge. We're gonna fly again, so we're gonna do 3. First one, just come forward, inhale up. Exhale forward for number 2, inhale up. Exhale, come forward and launch, coming into whatever version of warrior 3. Your arms can fly behind you, they can come to prayer. Most advanced is head, hands overhead. Start to bend your supporting leg, send your back leg to the back of your mat and open up to warrior 2. You wanna do that as gracefully as possible. Wobbles, totally fine. So opening up that front leg, sink low in your lunge. Press your shoulders away from your ears. Back foot is planted. Gaze over those front fingers. Flip your palm, reverse your warrior. Reaching up, up, up. Cartwheel your hands all the way down. Optional chaturanga here. Meeting in down dog, and that's the end of the sequence. We'll do the left side. Good. Bringing your toes to touch, flip your left leg high. Swing it through. Immediately lifting up, crescent lunge. Reaching your arms, your biceps are beside your ears as much as possible, pressing your shoulders down. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, shifts forward for 1. Inhale up, maybe go a little lower in your lunge if you want more of a challenge. Exhale, forward, 2. Inhale up. 3 flies, launch to the front. Coming into whatever version of warrior 3, that back leg has tons of energy. Send it out behind you. Slowly bending your supporting leg, plant your right foot behind you, open up warrior 2. Immediately tucking your tailbone underneath you, sending that knee to your left pinky toe. Reverse your palm, reverse your warrior. Cartwheel your hands all the way down. Find your plank. Chaturanga if you'd like. Toes to touch right away into it again. Swing your leg through. 1 breath, 1 movement. Inhale up. Exhale, shifts forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift. Now fly. Exhale, forward. Good. Sink your back foot down. Open up to warrior 2. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Cartwheel your hands all the way down. Find your plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right away, left leg lifts. Inhale. Swing it through. Inhale up. Exhale, sink forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift. This time you fly. Exhale, forward. Coming into your warrior 3. Let that back leg go towards the back. Bend your supporting leg. Open up, warrior 2. Reverse your palm, reverse your warrior. Cartwheel your hands all the way down. That's the end of the sequence. Find your chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. Now you're on your own. I'll get you started. Right heel comes to the sky. Swing it through. Go at your pace. kind of just go in push-up position. Lower yourself all the way down. Take your right hand, see us right, yes, right hand all the way out, palm down. And we're gonna roll up onto that right shoulder. So you want it about even with your face. Lower will be easier, higher will be harder. So start to roll over onto your side. And then you have some options. You can take your left foot up behind you, planting your foot on the mat or the floor. And gently press with your left arm if that feels good. Just open up. Feeling this intense shoulder stretch. Your head can rest on the mat if that's comfortable for you. And slowly roll back onto your belly. Switching sides, left arm comes all the way out. Plant your right arm, roll onto your side. Again, only go as far as it feels okay for you. And if you'd like to take that right leg up and over, you can plant it, deepening this stretch. And slowly roll back into your belly. Reaching your arms overhead. We'll inhale as you lift your hands and your feet off the mat, coming into a Superman. Exhale, release. 2 more times. Inhale, lift your head, heart, chest, shoulders, arms and legs, everything but your torso. Exhale down. Inhale, last one lift. Exhale down. Plant your hands by your shoulders. Push back up through your plank. Hips go high, down dog. And then walk your hands back to your feet and let your feet come as wide as the mat. Dangling in a forward fold here. So you can wrap one arm around, one hand around each elbow. Release your torso forward. Sway side to side. Nod your head yes or no. Let your upper back release. Release your hands to the mat. Wiggle your feet back under your hips. Bend your knees and roll up slow, tucking your tailbone. Step forward so you're just in the center of your mat. Moving into dancer's pose. Start to shift your weight to your left foot, kicking your right foot up behind you. Open your palm and bring your palm to the inside, the arch side of your foot. Bringing your knee back in. Trying not to let your knee and hip splay out. Trying to keep everything in alignment. Bring your left arm up to the sky. So you're already in modified dancer's pose. You can stay right here and just work on your balance. Take a second to root your tailbone down. You'll feel the stretch in your thigh. And then kicking your foot into your hand, start to come maybe gently forward as your foot lifts. Again, your foot is pressing into your hand. Your hand is holding on tight. Lower down. Good. Shake anything out. So you've already opened up that shoulder, but this is going to keep opening up your shoulder and your back. So nice. The back that it's balance, it's strength, dancer is kind of everything. So shifting your weight to your right foot. Kick up your left heel. Taking your left palm open, bring it to the inside. So the habit is going to want to be to flip it. That's okay, but if you can keep it to the inside of the arch of your foot, you'll feel a nice shoulder opener here. So get your knee, hip, and foot back into place. Lift your right arm to the sky. Good. And then press your foot into your hand, really, like you're trying to break free of it, but you won't, so you'll hold on tight. Pressing your foot into your hand, slowly shifting forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or jump back to your plank. Holding your plank. For just a little bit more cardio here. Draw one knee in, tapping your toe. And then switch feet. And switch feet. And if you want to pick up the pace and jog them in, and for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now take that right leg forward again, planting your shin on your mat. Coming into a half minute, so just burst our heart rate up. Now we're gonna release a little bit. So make sure you're not sitting on your hip, you're sitting up tall. This shin can be at any angle with the top of your mat. You can stay here with support of your hands, or you can slowly start to walk forward and use a block or anything as support. Maybe you come to forearms. Maybe you bring your forehead down to the block. Your goal here is to release and melt as much as possible. So take some deep breaths. And slowly start to come back up. Planting your hands. We're just going to move back to our plank. So curl your back toes under. Bring your right leg back to meet your left in your plank pose. And one more time, bring your left knee in. Toes just tap in front of you. Bring it as far as it will go. And send it back. Right knee in. And send it back. And you can tap or jog for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left knee comes forward, planted down. Back leg stretches out behind you. Good, sitting up tall for a second. And then you can slowly work forward as far as it feels okay. If it doesn't feel okay, you can just stay right here. But if it does feel okay, releasing over your leg will help you melt and relax and get the full benefits of the stretch. Your back toes back to your plank, and then slowly walk your hands back to your feet, opening up your toes, sink your hips down to the yogi squat. So your hips and knees and toes are all facing the same, so they might be closed, they might be really open, doesn't matter where they are, just all facing the same direction. You don't want your knees coming in and your toes out. Your elbows can press your hips open wider, and you're welcome to use a block for support, as I enjoy doing. we're gonna move into our crow posture. So if you're taking this class, you're probably more familiar with crow. I will demo and explain all at once and then give you a minute to kind of play and practice with it. So if you would like to watch the first time, you're more than welcome to. You can stay here in your yogi squat while you watch, or just take any position that's comfortable before you go into your posture. So we'll start from a forward fold. So planting our heels, a forward fold. Bend your knees and point your palms, fingertips super wide, directly under your shoulders. As you come up on your tiptoes, bend your knees and guide your knees to the outside of your armpits, kind of up towards your shoulders. And then you're going to squeeze everything in as you bend your arms and start to hinge forward. This all happens at once. Create a shelf for your knees. Squeeze maybe one toe, then maybe the other toe up towards your bottom as you gaze at the mat in front of you. You may or may not ever catch full balance, and it's okay. You can work from one toe to the other. Nice. That looks great. So I'll explain it one more time. Coming into your forward fold, plant your hands, bend your knees, guide your knees up into your armpits along your shoulder as far as you can get them. Start high and let them slide down. And as you bend your elbows and start to shift your weight forward, gaze at the mat in front of you, check your head, your body will want a somersault. Good. Shift your weight, finding a moment, maybe more, of balance. That looks awesome. You can always peel one toe off the mat and then the other toe. One toe and then the other toe, if you'd like. Good. And when you're done with that, come to sit on your bottom. That's where I always know, phew, I've made it. Whatever you throw at me, sitting on my bottom, I can handle it. So, good. How are we doing on time? We're doing great. Good, good, good. Bring your heels to touch, coming into a cobbler pose. We've already worked on these hips, but this will kind of help also open up the groin area. Sit up tall, holding onto your ankles. And you can hinge forward with a flat back. That will feel really good, especially if you have any low back issues. Just keep your back straight. You're still getting a ton, maybe even more stretch through your hips, even though you're not going as far. But if it feels good and it's more familiar to you, you can round your spine over and relax the weight of your body over your legs. Whichever yogi's choice. Slowly coming up, keep your left leg right where it is. Send your right leg straight out, flexing your foot. And then take your chest and hips and try to send them straight over your legs. So we're not doing a side stretch, but we're getting a true squared off hamstring stretch. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale your hands all the way over, and they might come to your thigh, your calf, your ankle. Maybe wrap around your foot. If you're feeling extra bendy and you want to go further, put a block here to do something else to grab onto as you pull very gently your chest down to your leg. Slowly come up. We'll switch feet so you can extend your left leg out and bring your right foot into your inner thigh, just like it was in its butterfly position. Keep in mind that yoga, we're working towards symmetry, but because of our everyday lives, we're almost never actually perfectly symmetrical. So when your balance is a lot better or worse on one side versus the other, your flexibility feels great on one side and terrible on the other, don't judge it. It's just your body. And by doing these things, you're working towards perfect symmetry. So inhale your arms up to the sky. Exhale as you fold forward. On this side, I don't get to use a block because my left leg is always tighter than my right. have a block, make sure you have it handy. I'm gonna do a cork one. I'm not a cork one. So we have cork blocks and foam blocks. For some things, the cork offers more stability and it's wonderful. For what we're about to do, foam blocks are a little better. So grab your legs or reach your hands forward, scoop your belly, round your spine, and slowly roll all the way back onto your back. Interlacing your fingers, bringing them behind your head, and bring your knees parallel. Try to send your low back flat to the mat as you squeeze your belly button in, zipping your rib cage. I'm going to turn a little bit more sideways. Zipping your rib cage towards your hip flexors, towards your hip bones. And then exhale as you twist to the right, sending your left leg far. Inhale comes back to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Keep going with your breath. If you want to speed it up, you can. To exhale for 2 and inhale for 2. 3 more. Hands on the opposite side if you started. And relax your head down. Squeeze your knees into your chest. And grabbing that block. And coming, I'm going to skirt back up here. You're going to move into a bridge pose with block support. Take that if you have a block. If not, you can just do a bridge, or you can just relax right here on your back. So if you have a block, take it on the lowest or the medium level. This is highest. Medium might feel great for most people, or totally flat on the ground. So slide that under your sacrum. So you don't want it under your low back. You don't want to be arching over it like a waterfall. Slide it down as low and maybe even a little lower than you think, so that your sacrum, your whole sacrum is laying on it. Good. And then you can open your arms to the side, all the way overhead if that feels good. Or maybe plant your hand, one on your belly, one on your heart. And breathe. This is releasing our low back. Even if you don't have a block here, placing one hand on your belly and one on your heart, and just feel your breath and your heartbeat while just relaxing this position is really restorative. Opening your eyes if they were closed. Opening your arms, palm down for a little balance and support. Reach one leg up to the sky and then the other. You can keep your block underneath your sacrum. Coming into a waterfall. Just reaching those legs towards the sky, letting your blood flow come back to your heart. And then as you let your left heel down to the mat, raise your right leg up, up, up until you come into a hamstring stretch. If this is no longer comfortable with the block, you can just get rid of it and put it aside. Enjoying your hamstring stretch. This leg can stay bent or it can straighten. Give your ankle a few rotations. Notice that will intensify the feeling going down your leg. So if you need to back off your stretch a little bit, that's okay. Switch feet. Let your right foot come down to the mat. And then slide your hands up your back, the back of your leg until you find a comfortable spot to stop. Keep this leg, your right leg can stay bent or straighten out along the mat. And then take those ankle rotations. Slowly lower, bringing your feet back to the mat. Knees are up. Open your arms to the side. Palms face down. Lift your hips up and bring them to the left side of your mat.
bring your knees in and let them fall to the right side of your mat. So by doing that, we're helping keeping your torso in a straight line. We have a kind of tendency to move at an angle, but this way it stays straight and you get your twist. If you'd like, you can bring your right hand to your left thigh and just let gravity help gently pull that knee down, intensifying your twist. Back up, bring your feet back to your mat, palms are open again. Now lift your hips all the way up and over to the right side of your mat. Bring your knees into your chest and let them fall over to the left. Keeping your shoulders firmly planted. You can keep your gaze up or bring it around to your right palm. Stretch you would like to take, you can go ahead and take it now, maybe a happy baby, another waterfall, whatever is going to serve you. And then we'll slowly move into our Shavasana. So let one heel come towards either corner of your mat. If you're tempted to hit pause and go run and do something else with your day, I encourage you to take this pose. It is so important to let our practice just sink in. So open up your chest and heart. Let your hands fall open wide, palms to the sky. And starting at the top of your head, release and relax your forehead, your cheeks, jaw. Let your neck just melt, letting any pressure or tension in your shoulders just sink into the mat. Feel that waterfall of tension just roll off your arms, down your palms and all 10 fingers. Feel your chest gently rise and fall with each breath, allowing your belly to now finally totally release. Your hips fall open wide, allowing your thighs and your kneecaps to completely relax. Release your calves. Ankles just totally relax. Your feet and all 10 toes are still. Seal this sense of release into your body. Keep your mind totally still. Bring awareness back to your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, rotating your wrists and your ankles. And rock your head gently from side to side. Reach your arms overhead and take a full body stretch, pointing your toes, reaching your fingers, reawakening your body from top to bottom. Draw your knees in towards your chest, plant your feet on the mat, and gently rock your knees from side to side until eventually you rock all the way over onto either side into the fetal position. Take a second here to let your practice just wash over you. Notice what feels different. Maybe tighter and stronger, maybe more relaxed and stretched. Maybe you've achieved a level of mental clarity that has not been available to you these past few days. Whatever it is, just really let it sink in, seal in, so you can take it with you. You don't have to just experience it for this brief 60 minutes. And then slowly start to push your way all the way up into an easy seated position. Gently re-engaging your belly so it can hold you up straight and strong. But releasing your hips, releasing your shoulders, feeling steady and strong. Inhale your arms all the way up to the sky. Palms to touch. Exhale your hands down in front of your heart. Thank you again so much for joining me in your practice today. I genuinely hope that it served you. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You did it.
Oh, I did it.
And you did it. Good job. I genuinely hope that you can leave your mat and step back into the world and be a blessing to those around you. Thank you so much again for tuning in today. And please, if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can just leave them under this video. So, see ya.
Cheers.
Cheers.